How's it going, YouTube? This is Sly88 Fry here. This is my first upload of NES Remix. So I got plenty of footage to come on this great game. It's a Wii U download exclusive. So here's the first level of Super Mario Bros. And I'm required to kill 15 enemies as a Starman. That should be easy enough. I mean, it's the first level of the game. Really easy. I guess I got one more enemy to kill. Let's do this. Okay, please don't laugh at me. I can't believe I died the first level of the game. I would never do that. But bear with me. You see, I never go that way. I always take this pipe right here. That very pipe right there. I always take it. It's a shortcut to the level. I never take the normal way when I play this level. So that's my excuse for screwing up and actually dying at the first level of the game. Well, here I am. I completed it. Last time I had 2 stars. I improved my clear time and got 3, so I added an extra star to my collection. You get experience points for completing a level. As you can see, I got some extra experience for beating my fastest time. I actually don't think I've ever looked at the videos before. I'm going to take a look at what these videos are all about, actually. Oh, it's a gameplay demo. Oh, okay. These videos simply just show you how to play the game. Okay. So for those of you who, never played Donkey Kong, the first ever Mario game ever made, then again, there are people who probably haven't played it because it was originally released in the arcades. This is obviously the NES version that got released much later. So all I gotta do is jump over 3 barrels and I'm successful. There we go. Break 2 barrels with the hammer. Okay, that sounds easy enough. And reach the top. And that damsel in distress up there, that's not Princess Peach for those of you who don't know. I know most people know. There are people who don't know. That's a lady named Pauline. And that helps go along with the joke that Mario is a playa. There's 3 different women he rescues. Pauline's the very first one. Princess Peach is the one he sustained. And then, some people might not know that Princess Daisy, she didn't originate in Mario Golf or Mario Tennis or whatever on the N64. She came from Super Mario Land, which is the first game ever released on the Nintendo Game Boy back in 1989, at least 89 in the US. So yeah, there you go. Alright, so Donkey Kong Jr. I was about to say Dr. Mario for some reason. Drop another fruit on an enemy. Enemies are weak to be destroyed by fruit, but then again, those fruit are really big. Now, as you can see, Mario is up there. This is still to this day the first and only game that Mario is actually the villain. So that's a little trivia for you, that Mario actually has played a villain before. And that would be the game. Just Donkey Kong Jr. It's the only one where he's the villain. Let's see, what shall we do next? Mario Brothers Arcade, which released in 1983. In the arcade originally, it got re-released on the NES, as you can see. Okay. That was easy. Kick 3 enemies while they're down. Nice. This is the first game that introduced Luigi to the series. And, as a matter of fact, now there's the Year of Luigi going on, which started at the beginning of 2013. I think it's sort of still going. I think it's going until early 2014, so it's probably over by now. But that's the reason why there was the Year of Luigi, because 30 years before 2013, 1983, that's when Luigi was first introduced to this series. first ever game with Luigi in it. So, that's pretty cool. So, here's Excite Bike. Pretty fun game. I've never played it that much. When I first started playing video games, that was in the early 1990s. When I was born, the NES was the newest Nintendo system, but a few years later, 3 years later, the Super Nintendo was released in the US, and the very first game I ever played was actually Super Mario World on Super Nintendo. However, the very first game I ever beat was Sonic the Hedgehog, the original Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis. For those of you not watching from North America, Sega Genesis is the North American version of the Sega Mega Drive. I don't know why, it's called the Sega Mega Drive everywhere except in North America. Not sure why that is. Let's do balloon fights. So let's pop some balloons. This is a good NES classic. Once you get further in the game, it gets pretty challenging. I haven't played this game very much myself, but like I could tell this is one of those games that gets pretty challenging when you get further. It's a pretty fun game. The challenge is easy. I mean, I'm only doing the level 1 challenges so far. So now I got enough experience points to level up. I earn a new stamp. Excite Bike stamp. That's cool. Cool. Alright. Here's something that's surprising is, here's Super Mario Brothers. Let's see. Dash and get to the gold ball. Okay. Oh, this is not World 1-1. This is Star World 1-1, where all the Goombas are, what they call Fuzzy Beetles, I think is what they're called. I don't remember what they're called. But yeah. This is when you actually beat the original game. And you go to play the game over again where all the Goombas are Fuzzy Beetles now. I guess I didn't do as good as last time. I had rainbowed 3 stars. This time I only got 3 stars, which is still good. But yeah, I had 21 seconds last time. I guess I lost a step and slowed down that time. Let's do some more Super Mario Brothers. Collect all the coins before time runs out. Okay. That wasn't so hard. Collect all the coins. Okay, let's do that. Get these coins. Alright, cool. Alright, collect all these coins. Wasn't so hard. Okay, this is not hard. But anyways, I guess it is an early challenge, so I guess you can't really expect something to be difficult this early. Okay, cool. Okay. Alright. Guess I was faster the first time. It's interesting how, Goombas, they always walk sideways, but with Mario transition to 3D, they don't walk sideways anymore. They run forward. They walk forwards. They run straight at you. Okay. Oh yeah, and interesting. Something that's really interesting is that even though Super Mario World was the first Mario game it was the first ever video game I ever played. Surprisingly, it's not. As you already know, it's not the first video game I ever beat, because the first video game I ever beat was Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I don't remember what order I've beaten every video game that I have beaten, but I have some memory of what order I beat these Mario games. And the first one I beat, I think it was Super Mario Land on Game Boy, which had some challenges. I mean, it's not a hard game at all by any means, but like Super Mario Brothers, with more elements to how you go through a level and such. New record, excellent. See, after that, I was able to beat. I played all the classic NES Super Mario Brothers games on Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo, which is a collection of the 4 Super Mario Brothers games for the original NES, including the one that was only released in Japan. Ooh, can't believe I let myself get hit by Bowser. Let's try again. Let's not screw this one up. Oh, he didn't jump this time! Dang it! This isn't even hard. I don't know why I'm failing against the first boss. I'm sucking right now. Maybe I'm just used to getting to him with fireballs and shooting him down. That might be it. Oh my god. Now I'm looking like a total noob. When I'm not. I've played these games a lot. I don't play them on the original NES as much, but I've played them a lot, regardless. New record. I still got a new record anyway, even though I was failing. Alright, let's do this one. Defeat this enemy. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Alright, cool, and what's next? Defeat the enemy before time runs out. Alright, sounds good. Oh! Almost got killed with that block. Forgot that block was there. Okay. Alright. Good stuff. Yeah, so I played Super Mario All-Stars, and the next Mario game I beat was actually Super Mario Brothers 2. And I'm not talking about Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels, which was the Japanese version of Super Mario Brothers 2. I was talking about the Super Mario Brothers 2 that we got here in the States, where you get to jump on Shy Guys, pick them up and throw them and stuff like that, where it's completely different than any Mario game that's ever made, basically. So this game, it's surprising that it's the game that I beat first, just because of the fact that it was different, a little more problem solving in the game, with some challenges that are unique to that game. But yeah, it was the second Mario game I ever beat. Third was, surprisingly, Super Mario... No, wait. Which one was it? I think it was actually Super Mario Brothers 3 on Super Mario All-Stars. Somehow that game, the longest Mario game from the classics. Not the hardest one, but, you know, it's harder than the original Super Mario Brothers. Just like Super Mario Brothers 2 is. And I beat that one next. And then I beat the original Super Mario Brothers. And then after that, I think after that I actually beat Super Mario Brothers The Lost Levels, which by many people is probably the hardest Mario game ever made, which is why it was only a Japan release, because the game was so hard they didn't want to release it to Western audiences to discourage gamers. But now they realize people are good enough to play these games, regardless of what hemisphere they're from, especially considering the NES is known for having incredibly difficult games. I'm telling you, new gamers out there, if you really do want a challenge, play games on the NES, other than Mario games besides Super Mario Brothers Lost Levels. Lost Levels is a really hard game. It's a game I've beaten on many occasions, like most Mario games I've played, but it's the only game that I've beaten multiple times, and beaten a lot, that I actually still get game overs. There's no other games I've played that I've beaten to a pulp that I don't get game overs. So, that I do get game overs. It's the only one where I actually get game overs despite the fact that I've beaten the game so many times. So, that is how hard that game is. Of somebody who can beat it that many times still gets game overs going through the game. That's just insane. Most games that you play that you can go through and beat who knows how many times, you don't game over on them because you've mastered the game. You know how to play it, you've memorized it, all that stuff. You know, nothing can stop you. But the lost levels, I can't help but game over in that game. It just is unavoidable. You don't get enough extra lives, and so many obstacles, so many enemies, so many cliffs, so many everything trying to kill you in that game. Well, I had a pretty hard time with this challenge, didn't I? Shouldn't have been that hard, but I still got a 3-star ranking and beat my record. I guess because the time starts over when you die. Let's go to this one here. All the fruits. I don't know if any of you have played Donkey Kong for the Game Boy. It was a 1994 game, which is just like playing which starts out being exactly like the original Donkey Kong arcade, but then after you get past the first 4 levels, it's its own game, and most of the time you're trying to, most levels you're trying to grab a key and then unlock the locked door in order to get to the next level, and that key is really big, so Mario has to carry it with both his hands and becomes more vulnerable. He can't do special jumps. He has like these really epic special jumps he can do, which make him like totally like more acrobatic than he's ever been in any Mario game besides maybe Super Mario 64. And they had challenges like this. In fact, they had levels that are just like levels from Donkey Kong Jr., but you're playing as Mario and you're still going into Donkey Kong. So they put elements of Donkey Kong Jr. in that Donkey Kong game as well for Game Boy. And it's a pretty long game. There's 9 worlds, I think. 9 worlds. So it's pretty cool. A game I highly recommend if you want a challenging Mario game as well. So, challenging Mario games. Super Mario Brothers Lost Levels, and Donkey Kong 1994 for Game Boy. And actually this game, Mario Brothers, the original arcade that is, it's otherwise, like if you play the re-release or the remake on Super Mario Advance series and Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, I don't think it's quite as hard. The control feels less slippery and less restrictive, I think, but than the original arcade or the NES version. But you know, it's regardless of which version you play, it can be pretty challenging because you're just trying to play as many levels as you can. So get to the top. Now they're adding special elements to these levels in NES remakes. That's one thing that's really cool. Besides the fact that you're playing like a special challenge where you play a part of a level that's a little more challenging, or do special tasks like, you know, defeat a certain number of enemies or grab a certain number of coins. They add special elements to these levels to make it more challenging. Now this, personally, I don't think it's very challenging. You have way too much sight. It's really easy to see the barrels, but it's pretty cool, to be honest. Let's see if I actually beat my record. Ooh, I did, and I got 3 stars instead of 2, and I added 8 in my collection. After you add a certain number of stars, you unlock new NES Remix stages. So, 80 stars did it. So that'll be the end of this video, but there'll be more to come soon, and thank you so much for watching.